sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains something that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. It is Monday, February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day. Oh, hopefully everybody had a good Valentine's. But the Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Unlike Valentine's, I'm here 5 days a week. Valentine's is on here 1 day a year. So, let's see. Don't forget to go in the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. We'll be delivering news, political commentary, and when we can, a guest or two. If you want to get a hold of me, there's 3 ways. Yes, 3. Go to Reaver.one website, click on the contact button, send me a message. Call me in at 813-518-5630. Or you can email me at jerseyjoe@Reaver.one. Now for a little bit of a Reaver's rant. It's going to be about the Supreme Court vacancy. But first and foremost, my thoughts and prayers are with the family. It seems everybody has jumped over a death of a man and straight to the politics. So, my thoughts and prayers are with the family. Now on to the rant. It seems the Democrats want it both ways with everything that they do. Democrat Senator Charles Schumer of New York is calling Republican obstructionists for threatening to block Obama's lame duck Supreme Court nominee. But in 2007, this same senator called for Democrats to block any new Supreme Court nomination by President George W. Bush. That was a full 19 months before he even left office. We're talking under a year before he leaves office. But what Schmuckhead is doing, Schumer, is he's raising objections to the Republicans wanting to exercise their right to block Obama's Supreme Court nominee. And if someone says something about it, they should just politely turn around and said that the Republicans got the idea directly from Democrat Senator Schumer. I am sick and tired of this double standards that's going on in our government. This is how we wound up with this progressive piece of crap government we have. The Republicans have backed down from the Democrats' hypocrisy and double talk. They do it all the time. They plain out lie. They sat there and they lied prior to 2014. That's when all this obstructionist really shit started. And I'm tired of the lying from the Democrats now. We're going to back it up back to about the presidency of Bush. You had Senator Harry Reid running his mouth, saying it is the patriotic duty of Americans to question the president. It is the patriotic duty, as he said, to question the president. Now you come forward to Obama, and you have Senator Reid saying that it is un-American to question the president. When it comes time that we're questioning their nominee, their candidate, they don't like it. But when it comes time for them to question the opposing party's president, candidate, nominee, oh my God, they go every which way and twice on Sunday to go after them. To give you a perfect example, the Democrats complained about the talks about impeachment for President Obama. They even went so far, and I mean so far to say that they never even thought about it with President Bush. No, they never thought about it. Nope, not them. Not them. No. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. They did. They did more than just think about impeachment with George Bush. Wait a minute. And what the irony is, the Congress person that said they wouldn't think of it was the one who thought it up, brought it up, and tried to impeach President Bush. No one sees the doubled standards that is going on with this Supreme Court. Every time something little comes up with a Republican, oh, they must stand down. It's terrible. They must be removed. Their guy goes and kills somebody. Oh, he said he's sorry. Yep, he said he's sorry. I don't give a shit. I'm tired of he said he's sorry. He said he's sorry. You could say sorry till the cows come home, but if you don't show it, you don't act it, they're empty, hollow words. And politicians are great at these empty, hollow words. And this obstructionist bullshit, because they've talked about how the Republicans were the obstructionists. They were keeping bills from going through. They were blocking Obama's agenda. They wouldn't let anything go through. But lo and behold, when you look, and you look at the Republicans had control of the House, and they were passing bills. And then when you looked at the Senate, when Harry Reid was in charge, they weren't getting the bills pushed through. They were blocking the bills that the House were passing. So lo and behold, the real obstructionists in this country are the Democrats. It's just that there's simpletons in this world that listen to the Democrats and listen to them point the finger. Tell me a criminal that admits to what they do. A criminal, first thing they do will point fingers to others to deflect the finger pointing at them. But, yes, let's believe that the lying, cheating bastards that the Democrats are, every time they open their mouth and deny something, every time they make a blanket accusation, let's believe them. I am sick and tired of it, people. And so should you. We may be conservatives, we may be Republicans, but doesn't mean we should be letting them get away with it. We should be calling them on it. We should be getting on any media, from news all the way down, and I'm not talking Fox News, I'm talking any news, whether it's these shows that we do, and call them every chance we get. And not lie about it, but call them on every chance, on every time they do it that it's truthful, call them on it. Because if we don't call them on every single one, and there's some truth to some of them, and we admit that it's true, when we do call them on it, it's going to have more backing. Because they lie like a rug. God, that's an old saying my mom used to say to me all the time. You lie like a rug there. You lie like a rug. Back in the days when I was a teenager. People, this world is going to shit. Redirection, yeah, that is, thank you, Dave, that's better. He said psychiatrics call it redirection. It's very basic, and thank you. I was saying deflecting. Redirection is a better term, thank you. This is why we are where we are in this country, because we have allowed the Democrats to pull this type of stunts over and over and over again. If they want to call it obstructionist, just the same as anyone when they call them racist all the time. I'm pretty sure if the person sneezed in the middle of something, they would call them obstructionist nowadays. Wear it with a badge of goddamn pride when they do it, because that means you're getting to them. That means you're probably doing the same thing they've done time and time again. And they don't want anybody else infringing on their turf. Senator Schumer stands up there. We don't want people to own guns. They're bad. They're very bad. Wait, where did my security go? Oh, there they are. Why am I going to listen to a bunch of politicians that are surrounded by armed guards telling me how guns won't keep you safe? Think about it, people. Democrats stand up there and say guns won't keep you safe as they're surrounded by armed guards. I'm sick and tired of the double standard. They don't even try to hide their lies anymore. They don't even come up with good lies anymore. It's blatant, in your face, up yours. I'm lying directly to you. So what? What are you going to do about it? Attitude. I'm tired of it. It's sickening. And speaking of Harry Reid, he recently talked about the Democrat superdelegate system, and his response was a sick, racist rant. It is wrong to rely on high white populations of Iowa and New Hampshire. So, if you're white, you're a white Democrat. Think about this, people. They're saying this about their own people. Not about Republicans. They are saying this about Democrats. The white people should not have a right to elect who is the official. They are calling their own... Harry Reid is calling his own people racist. In an appearance on MSNBC on last Thursday, Senator Minority Leader Harry Reid made an appearance to discuss his home state's upcoming primary. During that appearance, the host asked Reid if he thought, given the outcome of New Hampshire's primary, which was an overwhelming electoral victory for Senator Bernie Sanders, if Sanders should have gotten the bulk of the delegates instead of a 15-15 split with his opponent, Hillary Clinton. Which right there, that's socialism in a nutshell. So yes, he should have walked away with an equal amount. Doesn't matter how much he worked for it or how many people voted for him, the vote should be split up equally. That's socialism. And I love it because the socialists are crying, you don't understand it. You don't understand socialism. That's not how it works. Yeah, it does. That's the way it works. But usually it doesn't work that way for politicians. You are correct in that sense. Because politicians don't give up their equal share. It's everybody else. But that is a perfect example of how socialism works. But according to Reed, high white populations of Iowa and New Hampshire make the superdelegate system appropriate despite acknowledging it isn't a good system. High white population. So the whites don't have an equal vote. Bravo, Democrats, you're now into insulting your own base. This isn't the first time this election that you've insulted your own base and called them racist. Blatantly called them racist. And if I was a Democrat, I'd be standing there going, fuck you! I ain't racist! I'm just giving my vote. So it's their fault that they live in an area that is high white? So then when you go to areas that have a high black population, those votes won't cast. I dare Reed to say that one. I dare him to say that. It's sickening, but it's funny at the same time. The process was totally unfair before 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I looked at this and I thought, how in the world could we have the future of this country be dependent on Iowa, which is 93% white? And we have New Hampshire, which is 97% white. No diversity in Iowa, and have the final decision made as to who is going to be the president of the United States based on those two states. It was wrong. No, go to your original statement, Harry. It's because you don't want whites voting for your president. We now have Nevada and South Carolina before we get to the rest of the country as to who's chosen where. This is better, so much better than it was before. So think what it would be if this campaign didn't go to Nevada and South Carolina, which would be stupid. That's a stupid statement, because if your campaigns don't go there, that is their own fault. It was just determined by what happened in Iowa. She won, and you just indicated that even though he won the election by a large margin in New Hampshire, the delegates came out even. But now, in Iowa, they didn't come out even, did they? They did a coin toss so that Hillary would come out ahead. It was not a good system. It's getting better. You know, Harry Reid, I think it's time for you to hit the old folks home. You really have gone batshit crazy. Bat crap crazy. Nuts. Looney Tunes. I'm laughing, and to change subjects real quick, I noticed other shows that are doing the bat crap crazy, batshit crazy a whole hell of a lot lately, and I don't care, but it's just funny. There was a show recently, it was like, I just heard this new quote, batshit crazy. Oh my God, I'm going to start using it. And it's like, I've talked about it before. My mom used to say that all the friggin' time. All the time. Bat crap crazy. Batshit crazy. I don't know. It's Democrats are showing their true colors. They've gotten so far into this racism state of mind, they're calling their own people racist just for voting. And what's funny is they got two old white candidates. But it's everybody else is racist. They've been screaming racist for the last 7 years to 8 years. I don't think they know how to do anything else. They blame everything on Republicans. They don't know how to do anything else. They don't know how to govern without blaming somebody else. I don't know, people. I don't know. I really don't know. But I do know You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on HPPundit.com, RebootingLiberty.com, and SHRmedia.com. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show, just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. Welcome back. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room. Join the conversation. I'll be delivering news, political commentary, and when I can, a guest. If you want to get a hold of me, you can go to Reaver.one, click on the contact button, send me a message. Or you can call me at 813-518-5630. You can also email me, jerseyjoe@reaver.one. That's jerseyjoe@reaver.one. .1. All right, so Joe Biden wrote the obstructionist playbook on breaking a president's nominee. With the news of the sudden death of Justice Scalia, the Obama White House and Democrat candidate Hillary Clinton are staking a position that President Obama and not his successor should appoint Scalia's replacement. But it's useful to remember that one member of the Obama administration, Vice President Joe Biden, once had a very different opinion on the Senate's ability to block the president's nominee at all costs. Following the retirement of Supreme Court Justice Lois Powell in 1987, President Reagan nominated Judge Robert Bork. Sorry. I'm in a very, very, very weird mood. Yeah, it's just one of those days. So Robert Bork, America. Whoops. Excuse me, let me back it up a little bit. Not an hour after Bork's nomination, the late Senator Ted Cruz took to the Senate floor to issue a clarion call to his fellow Democrats to block Bork at all costs. He stated, Robert Bork's America is a land in which women would be forced into back alley abortions, blacks would sit at a segregated lunch counter, rogue police could break down citizens' doors in midnight raids, school children could not be taught about evolution, writers and artists could be censored at the whim of the government, and the doors of the federal courts would be shut on the fingers of millions of citizens. Democrats and their left-wing allies quickly moved into action to stop Bork's appointment to the court. The dishonesty of the attacks reportedly stunned the Reagan White House. Bork, after all, was no more or less of an originalist than Justice Scalia, who was confirmed the year before by a 98-0, though some would suggest that the unanimous vote had to do with Senate Democrats not wanting to block the nomination of the first Italian-American to the court. One of the key Democrats leading the charge was then Senator Joe. Fired 2 shots with your shotgun through the door, Biden, the chairman of the State Judiciary Committee. A legal brief was called the Biden Report. It was drafted to dissect Bork's background and position with clear intentions of opposing him. Bork would later write that the Biden Report was so thoroughly misrepresented, a plain record, that it is easily qualifies as world-class in the category And it doesn't surprise me. This is what Democrats do. They lie through their goddamn ass all the time. Oh, I'm sorry, mouth. They talk so much shit, you wouldn't know the difference between their ass and their mouth. I mean, seriously, I'm getting sick of it. As I said, I'm sick and tired of it. Oh, I was so calm this weekend, too. Stayed away from politics all weekend. A couple times I almost got involved in it, but I stayed away from it. Last night, playing a game and someone decided to get in all the political talk and start pushing socialism and all that crap. We started getting a nice discussion going, and of course, a liberal had to jump in and start talking about how it was racist to have these views. We weren't even talking about illegal immigrants, and has to jump in with that. You'll never be able to find them all. You're correct. We never would be able to find them all. If we start doing things by the law, they'll start deporting themselves legally. Because if there's no work, and they can't get any help from the United States government, they're going to run back to Mexico. Plain and simple. You make it so the illegals don't have a benefit for being here, have to really live underground, and they'll deport themselves. It's that simple. I mean, you don't have to deport all of them. Just make the conditions so that they don't want to be here. But I digress to something other. Ultimately, the Biden's Judicial Committee rejected Bork's nomination by a 9-5 vote, and eventually the full Senate would vote against his confirmation by a 58-42. The lasting legacy of the Bork nomination was the unprecedented victories of the campaign to block him, which has been the standard for Supreme Court nominees ever since. Indeed, the dictionary now contains the verb Bork to describe the obstruction of a nominee through systematic defamation or vilification. I mean, the definition says it all. But yet, the Republicans keep trying to play, we're above that, we will not do that, and you keep fucking losing. Well, maybe it's time to start rethinking your playbook, Republicans. Because if not, we can kiss our Second Amendment goodbye. Plain and simple. Our Second Amendment right will go out the window. We will have immigrants flooding all over the place. We'll have amnesty being given to them through Obama's executive orders. This is bigger than anybody could think. Justice Scalia's death, it resets the Supreme Court's opportunity to gut the Second Amendment. The death of the Associate Justice Scalia gives progressives on the Supreme Court an opportunity to gut the Second Amendment by reinterpreting it as a collective right rather than an individual right. Scalia's name became synonymous with the individual right to keep and bear arms after the release of his majority opinion for the decision for his decision on District of Columbia versus Heller. Every time I read that, I think Helen Keller. I'm so sorry. It's so ingrained in my mind. My brain thinks Helen Keller. God, my brain's messed up. Whew. It's dangerous, folks. We're walking down a dangerous path. And it couldn't come at a worse time. I don't want a 100% conservative Supreme Court. I don't want a 100% liberal Supreme Court. And we're heading towards that right now. And Supreme Court has ruled that it is a individual right. And I kind of laugh because you have Obama standing up there screaming about certain decisions that have gone his way. It is the law of the land and you must accept it and you must shut up about it. Oh, wait a minute, we don't agree. They made the wrong decision and we don't have to abide by it. There's some more of your hypocrisy from the Democrats. And even the Republicans do it too. When it's the decision that they agree with, they want us to abide by it 100%. When it's something they don't want us to agree with, they want us to ignore the Supreme Court ruling. And like I said, it's not one or the other. It's both sides are doing this. Both sides are equally guilty of that. And it's... I don't know. We're heading down a very, very, very dangerous path in our time. I know I keep repeating that, but I can't repeat it enough. How dangerous we are right now. There we go. Trying to fix something as I do this. And I was screwing it in. It wasn't tightening. It was like, damn, it's not that long. That's what she said. In that opportunity, Scalera showed how phrases that appeared in the Bill of Rights again and again shared a common meaning, and that references in one amendment match references in another, whether or not that phrase is explicitly or loosely stated. For example, the phrase right of the people, which explicitly appears in the First and Second Amendment and is loosely expressed in the Ninth Amendment, shares a context that refers to individual rights in every occurrence. Of all three of these instances, unambiguously refers to individual rights, not collective rights, or rights that may be exercised only through participation in some corporate body, Scalera wrote. In other words, just as the right of the people to assemble in the First Amendment is an individual right, so is the right to keep and bear arms in the Second Amendment, and the right not enumerated but protected by the Ninth Amendment. This is very different from liberal or progressive approach, where the right protected by the Second Amendment is viewed as collective and therefore exists only under certain conditions. For example, the right to own guns exists only for those serving in the government-run militia and can therefore be expanded, narrowed, or barred by government with impunity. Now, if you think about it, why would a government body such as itself make a statement saying that you can't ban guns from the federal government you wouldn't need to? You wouldn't need that phrase in there to, even for state militias. If it was meant as a collective, you would not need that in there. By putting that in there, and the wording is about the rights of the people. And if you go further than just the way it's worded, if you go from the context that it originated from, it was about the individual's rights. I can't remember the name of that document. It's a British document. I'm going to kick myself when I figure it out or someone tells me. Dave, do you remember the English document that the Second Amendment is based off of by chance? It's going to take a second for this, but oh my God, this is going to drive me nuts. Wow, that's going on. Heller was released June 26, 2008, and struck down Washington, D.C.'s gun ban because it unconstitutionally infringed on each individual's right to own a gun. But ever since then, we have news agencies, newspapers, trying to rewrite the decisions of a Supreme Court justice, which is... How much weight do people actually put in the New York Times, the LA Times, and the Associated Press? They're great for giving us the news. But where are they legal experts on the amendment? Where are they legal experts on legal aspects of American life? I think too many people are putting too much... No, not the rights of Englishmen or the possible Magna Carta. It's going to drive me nuts. I will figure it out. Maybe I can find it during the break. Yeah, we're up on a break already. Woohoo! Break. Just remember, you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on rebootingliberty.com, hppundit.com, and shrmedia.com. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show, just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
Conservative done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. So I looked it up during the break, and hang on. What I came across, I swear it could be something else, called something else. But it's the English Bill of Rights from 1689. And where was it? The text of the English Bill of Rights of 1689 includes language protecting the right of Protestants against disarmament by the Crown. This document states that the subject, which are Protestants, may have arms for the defense suitable to their conditions and as allowed by law. It also contains text that inspired to bind future parliaments, though under English constitutional law, no parliament can bind any later parliament. Nevertheless, the English Bill of Rights remains an important constitutional document, more for enumerating the rights of Parliament over the monarchy than it is for a clause for concerning a right to have arms. But they're saying that it's based off of that. And there's more into it than just what I've talked about right now. I would have to do a whole new gun show, which I did not too long ago, and I don't want to revisit it any time soon. So, yes, you got the century right. Damn it, this is going to be bug me because there's something else it's based off of, and it's not that. But back to what I was talking about. The LA Times and New York Times have done this by suggesting that the individual right to keep and bear arms was created by the judge in 2008. For example, the New York Times depended on the opinion of a judge who equates Heller with judicial activism, and the LA Times editorial board explicitly states their opinion that the Supreme Court erred. Oh, that is so. Oh my God, stop the press. They think they made a mistake. Holy shit, that is the facts in it just blow my mind. Change my mind about Second Amendment rights. Oh, the bullshit of people. And then you have the AP, who took aim at the right to self-defense. That's a key right protected by the Second Amendment, and a component that is individual in nature, just like the right of the people to keep and bear arms or to assemble, along with the various rights not enumerated by protected by the Ninth Amendment. With the death of Scalia, the 9-justice Supreme Court is evenly divided on 4-4 whether the Second Amendment is individual or collective rights. Scalia's replacement will either maintain the work he did to defend their rights as individual, or will declare those individual rights as collective rights, hereby gutting the Second Amendment. And this is definitely why it's so important that we block it. This is something that needs to be done and over with, even if we have to redo the Second Amendment that says they have the fucking right. Shut up, liberals. Then they would still, I'm not exactly a liberal, and I'm a jackassery, and so therefore that opinion doesn't follow me, so I can argue it. We're in trouble as a country, very much so. The American way is dead and gone. And if it's not dead and gone, then it's on life support. And the Democrats are trying to pull the plug. And Star Wars got it best. Star Wars got it best. Trying to pull up the exact quote. Death of the Senate. Death of the Senate. It would help if I could type. No. Oh, I need a Star Wars geek. Padme sitting there. Now, here it is. So after the Emperor declares that the end of the Senate, the Republic will organize into the first galactic empire for the safety and secure society, which I assure you will last for 10,000 years. And think about what Obama and the progressives have been pushing on us for the safety and security of our society. They must end the constitutional rights. They have been pushing that. And Padme goes on to say, so this is how liberty dies, with a thunderous applause. And we have people applauding the destruction of our demise of the American way. It's sorry about that. We're watching the applause of progressives as the American way dies slowly. And yes, Dave, thank you for that. Some good news. Fat-ass piece of shit Michael Moore lays another epic bomb at the office. His new and where should we invade next bullcrap has, totally fall flat on its face. We have the death of our democracy. Death of the Republic. And it's... Yeah, we always were told that it was the Republicans that would destroy it. That's what the Democrats told us, and that's what I believed for when I was younger. And what I see is... It's the Democrats. It's the Democrats that are destroying the American way of life. One bit at a time. And it's gotten to the point they either do it all. They need to jump on their opportunity because it's to a point of all or nothing. And they're actually winning right now. And if you look, they are winning. Look at the Republican Party. Just look at it. It's in such disarray, it's not funny. You have Republicans arguing with Republicans. No one is getting along. No one agrees on freaking diddly right now. And the establishment keeps rolling on. And it doesn't matter whether it's Republican or Democrat establishment. They love the arguing because it keeps them going. Let's see what Dave, the unpleasant blind guy, has for us. I'm going to trust you, Dave. Liberty is dead.
the security and continuing stability.
Oh, wait. I gotta back this up.
The Republic will be
Let's start over.
In order to ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the first galactic empire for a safe and secure society.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
And exactly how it dies. You could take so much from Star Wars right now. You could take so much from it. Because that is what we have going on right now. There's a big battle. All right, we don't have the spaceship. And you know what, Dave? I have too. I have seen the direct path between Star Wars and our current predicament. I've been thinking that Obama's, it fits him. It fits him perfect. And what's funny is there is someone behind the senator in Star Wars that's helping him, that's pushing the buttons, that's controlling him. Everybody thinks he's in control, but he's not. And same with Obama. There's someone behind him pushing the buttons. This country's, I can't say it enough. We are in trouble, people. We are in goddamn trouble. And I'm hoping I'm seeing this right. I hope I'm reading it right. Because I'm seeing what looks like that the conservatives, that people that care actually about this country, see what's going on, and there's more people standing up than there is of the socialist, progressive, against everything that is America. And I want to believe it. I don't know if it's because I want to believe it that I see it so much, or that it's actually there. Palpatine, that's his damn name. I couldn't remember. Senator Palpatine. I guess that fits Obama. Obama is Senator Palpatine. We're heading down the wrong path big time. And I keep saying it, I can't say it enough. But as I said, I don't know if it's because I want to see it that I'm seeing it, or if I'm actually seeing it. I know that sounds kind of stupid, but you can sometimes want something so bad that you start to see what you want. And we need the American people to stand up to squash this this progressive I agree, Dave. There's so many in our history that's seen it coming, and recent history, I guess you could say, going back to 1950s, that's recent history compared to all. There's so many that saw it coming. But we got to do something. We got to wake people up to it, and that's the scary part. I don't know. We are in a very, very bad place. Bang, bang, bang. We are not doing good as a country right now. It seems we're falling in line and trying to be the next Europe instead of being the next leader. I don't lead. I'd like to follow. But I'll have to follow after this break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on hppundit.com, rebootingliberty.com, and shrmedia.com. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Kafka is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show,
I don't want to be me. I don't want to be anymore.
just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click it on the chat room. Join the conversation. There'll be news, political commentary, and smart-assery. If you want to get a hold of me, there are 3 ways. You can go, more than 3 ways, but the most common ways are go to Reaver.one website, click on the contact button, or you can call me at 813-518-5630. Lastly, send me an email, jerseyjoe@reaver.one. Deeds that move the wheels of the world. Small hands do them because they must, while the eyes of the great... Alright, I'm reading through some of the things Dave said, and it's... And we must all be leaders. And he put that, and he was agreeing with the statements I made right before break, and that we all must be leaders. We can't be followers. We must take our own futures into our own hands, our own destiny into our own hands, and stop expecting everybody else to take our destiny into their hands. We must fight for our rights. We must fight for what we think is right. And I'm not talking picking up arms and running anywhere. Simply speaking out, sending letters to your congresswoman, congressman, sending letters, phone calls, doing it every day. That is the way to pick up the fight right now. That is the way we need to start this fight. That is the way we need to fight it. Because what are they going to fight back with? What are they going to fight back with? Oh, look at them. They're plastering me with emails. Send in the army. Yeah, they're not going to do that. We got to stop expecting others to do. And conservatives are always preaching that. Conservatives are always preaching that. That about welfare and stuff. Well, stop being on the political welfare and expecting others to do it for you. Expecting these senators, these congressmen, the House representatives, presidents, mayors, whatever the official is, it is not their job to do it. It is your job to get up and do it yourself. Stop expecting others to do it for you. That is the political welfare. Call, write, email. No, I don't want to say that one. People will be starting fires. I was told to send smoke signals to them. Send them Morse code. I don't care. J.R.R. Tolkien. Such is the course of deeds that move the wheels of the world. Small hands do them because they must, while the eyes of the great are elsewhere. We That's weird. Got a weird thing going on my one channel. I'm getting some static out of it. I'm sitting here watching lights flash on my board. There we go. Seriously, we got to stop expecting others to do it for us. We must do it. Take the fight upon ourselves. Take freedom onto our backs. We are the keepers of. Yeah, I saw Kanye West is like $53 million in debt. That I find funny. It's funny. Now, this I find really intriguing when it comes to medical stuff. I do. Making artificial organs with a cotton candy-like machine. And it doesn't say like, but I want to make sure, because I know people are like, I'm not going to have an organ that's made in a cotton candy machine. No, it's the same principle. The mechanics, of a cotton candy machine are providing useful to the quest to build life-size artificial organs. Capillaries are the body's most narrow blood vessels. The thin-walled tubes are essential to organs, delivering oxygen and nutrition and carrying away waste. They also serve as a kind of scaffolding. Their woven structure organizing the collection of liver and kidney cells. Engineers at Vanderbilt University have been experimenting with a cotton candy machine as a means to weave capillary-like structures using hydrogel. Unlike solid polymers, water-based gels allow vital fluids to flow through the structure, mimicking the role of tiny vessels. It's possible to build capillary scaffolding from a bottoms-up culturing cell and a thin film of gel, and allowing vessels to begin forming on their own, but the process is slow and delicate. Now, I know with the conservatives, I'm going to hear, God's trying to be like God. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. God gave us a brain. God gave us the ability to think, to reason. God gave us the ability to think and come up with inventions. God gave us the knowledge of medicine to treat ourselves. So we're not dependent on Him. This is just another step in human evolution that we have taken, that we've come up with ways to repair ourselves. I have in my body, I found it fascinating. Back in 97, I think it was, I injured my knee. And what happened is, right on the weight-bearing side where your femur and your fib, where they sit, exactly where they make contact, because your knee doesn't make contact straight across. The exact point where it makes contact, there's cartilage that covers your bone that adds as a little, not lubrication, but a protective. Exactly. All right. Dave also put it in there. This stuff is no less legit than glasses. I just hate people when they're like, it's God's will. You're trying to be God. No, you're not. They're trying to find ways to help people. Well, if God didn't want them to be helped, well, God did. He's making people with the knowledge that allow them to think this and come up with this stuff. And I'm not huge on religion, but I can see where, okay, well, God gave us the knowledge. And within my knee, right where it holds each other, I cracked the cartilage. So what I was getting was, bone on cartilage, and was starting to wear away the bone. So what they used to do in the past was they would take out of cadavers, dead people, the cartilage, and put it in other people. Or they would go to another part of my knee and take out the cartilage and put it in there. What would happen is, it doesn't create a solid structure. You take out these little plugs and you fill them in. Well, arthritis can get in between those plugs and start to damage it. So what they did is, when they found out I had the damage, my doctor, thank God, I had the doctor I did. He was only of like one of 10 doctors in the United States that could do this. When he did the initial scope, he took out a sample of my cartilage. It was sent to Cambridge, where they regrew my cartilage. When it came back to me, it was in a liquid form. So what they did is, over that little hole where the crack is, they cleaned it all up nicely. They removed cartilage, cleaned it up. And they went to another part of my leg, and they took, like, basically a tire patch, the way he explained it to me, and put it over that hole. From there, they took the liquid cartilage and put it inside that tire patch. Now, I wound up in bed for several months, but in time went on, the patch wore away, and the cartilage regrew into a solid object. Now, I don't have to worry about taking any meds because I am got foreign body in me, because it is my own cartilage that regrew. The body accepts it. And that's what's going on with some of these advancements. Dave, the unpleasant blind guy, says that he has 2 plastic lenses implanted into each eye. These things are not against God. God gave us the ability to think this way. God gave us the ability to come up with this. Spinning hydrogel channels from a cotton candy machine, the top-down approach is much faster. So far, the other top-down approaches have only managed to create networks with microchannels larger than 100 microns, about 10 times the size of capillaries. And an assistant professor of mechanical engineering at Vanderbilt said in a press release, in addition, many of these other techniques are not able to form networks as complex as the cotton candy approach. While the cotton candy machine mechanics for spinning capillary-like fiber networks provides ideal, finding the right material wasn't as easy. The scaffolding material has to be both water-soluble and insoluble. First, the material has to be insoluble in water when you make the mold, so it doesn't dissolve when you pour the gel. Then it must dissolve in water to create the microchannels, because cells will only grow in aqueous environments. And that's where this new PNI PAM comes in. It's a polymer that's insoluble above 32 degrees Celsius and soluble below 32 degrees. Researchers build the artificial organ by spinning out a network of this thread at warmer temperatures. They then pour on a hydrogel embedded with cells. The gelatinous mass is cooled, which causes the thread to dissolve, leaving behind a system of microchannels into which live cells cultures are pumped. Our experiment shows that after 7 days, 90% of the cells in a scaffold with perfused microchannels remain alive and functional, compared to only 60 to 70% in scaffolds that were not perfused and did not have microchannels. The initial success of Belan and his colleagues are detailed in a new paper published in the Journal of Advanced Healthcare Materials. Next, Belan and his research partners will work to fine-tune the process and match the cell types and structures of specific organs. And I know this is one of the... Yeah, and when I watch that stuff, Dave, I still, any type of knee surgery and knee injuries, I cringe because I know how it feels. And with the medical issues I'm having now, I'm having problems with my knee again, so, don't get me started. Sorry, I'm sniffing on it. Seem to have a little postnasal drip going on. Like I said, this is not something that's against God and God's will. This is something that God gave us the brains to think about. This is something that God gave us the ability to reason with. It just, we could do so much, and expecting God to do everything Well, we have the regular welfare now. We have political welfare and religious welfare, where we're going to God to do everything. There's one thing to open your heart and acceptance, another to rely on somebody else to do everything for you. I know this in a way you're relying on somebody else, but this is something that we have evolved. We've been able to think about over years. And this is where I said we need people of different backgrounds to come together. Because this isn't just one person going, this is how we do it. This is a collective of people coming together, throwing different ideas into a pot, and it coming out. And this is how we need to look at things anymore. We got to stop looking at only one-sided. Whether it's, we just want to look at it from a liberal point of view, or we just want to look at it from a conservative point of view. I know I'm going to get shit for this, but you need both sides. You really do. You need both sides to come with a better idea. And I've learned that as a chief officer with the squad. You need different ideas coming together to come up with a good idea. And any leader worth anything. And this is why I like George Bush. Because he had no problem admitting it. He knew he wasn't this brilliant scientist. Well, he wasn't even that smart at college either. But he surrounded himself with some great people. And that's why his presidency did great. Reagan wasn't this brilliant person that knew everything. He surrounded himself with the right people. John F. Kennedy did not know everything. He surrounded himself with those people. Obama pushes those people away and has to be the smartest one in the room. That's why there is constantly issues within his administration. A great leader does not know everything. A great leader surrounds himself with those that do. That is a great leader. Knowing your limitations. Knowing when to go outside and finding the answer. Like him, love him, hate him. One thing I like about Trump, and he said it over and over again, that's what he's done in business. Yes, he's made some mistakes. He's had some people that have made... Hey, yeah, Al Gore still thinks he invented the internet. And that's one thing I like about Trump. He knows you have to surround yourself with those people. Yes, have sometimes those people not given the greatest advice and things not worked out for Trump. When you make those high-price gambles, it's bound to happen. But that's the thing. He knows to surround himself with the right people. That's what I like about Trump. And I think that's what he has, the ability to surround himself as a president. He'll get the people that know the answer. A president is nothing but a figurehead out there. But I also like that figurehead to be able to think. And yeah, from a quote from Unforgiven, man's got to know his limitations. Hillary won't do that. She's another one. Her ego's in the way. Sanders. I can keep going on because it's on the Republican side too. You gotta pick a leader. Not for everything he knows. And that's what I don't like about the primary. Well, this one hasn't given his full plan yet. Well, the full plan may not be all together because you don't have all the people together yet. You have your basic consensus of what you want to do. And then when you win the nomination, then you start putting the people together to really start expanding that plan. Because also if you come out with the plan now, and then what's happened, the other candidates start ripping off your plan. I am majorly late for my break. Oh, I don't care. I can do what I want. I am the host. And you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense. Right here on hppundit.com, rebootingliberty.com, and shrmedia.com. We'll be right back.
done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Kafka, stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show, just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Join the chat room. Join the conversation. I'll be delivering news, political commentary, and a guest. If you want to get a hold of me, you can go to my website, Reaver.one, click on the contact button, send me a message. You can go to your phone, call 813-518-5630, and lastly, you can email me, jerseyjoe@Reaver.one. So, I got a little soundbite for you. I had to. I hate this channel. It's always staticky.
Man's got to know his limitations.
Man's got to know his limitations. And yes, we do. We need to know it, understand it, live it. And live it. It's so. So Dave put up he has a, I guess, YouTube, or no, right wing. It's from one of his favorite politicians, and talks about the hippies of the 60s became the teachers. That's how we got somebody like Sanders and Hillary, because the hippies of the 60s and the revolutionaries of the 60s are now teaching. The professors, they teach it in schools. There are politicians on the Democrat side. They could not defeat the establishment on the outside, so they went to the inside, became the establishment, or destroying it from the inside. And he's just... When reality crashes down on them, it'll be something their minds just can't comprehend. They deluded themselves for almost 50 years, and the yellow brick road is about to end in a dung heap. The keg is about to float. And that goes into, there was a poll done, and the millennials picked socialism over capitalism, which is funny as hell. They're against capitalism as they tweet out how they hate capitalism on their iPhones. Anybody find the hypocrisy in that? A new survey from YouGov finds that millennials have more favorable view of the socialism than of capitalism. Those that do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it less than 2 decades after socialism seemed to have been confirmed to the dust heap of history. Another generation may have to learn a hard lesson. The survey taken at the end of January found that 43% of Americans under 30 had a favorable view of socialism. Less than a third of millennials had a favorable view of capitalism. No other age or ethnical demographics preferred socialism over capitalism. Seniors, surprisingly, had the most favorable view of capitalism. Just 23% of Americans older than 65 had a positive view of capitalism. 63% of seniors, though, only 23% had a positive view of socialism. 63% of seniors, though, had a favorable view of capitalism. Seniors, after all, experienced a long-standing intellectual battle between capitalism and socialism played out in real life. They witnessed a post-war economic Europea grind down into a socialist malaise, only to be reinvigorated by a global embrace of disruptive technology and deregulation and global trade. In the past 20 years, the number of people living in poverty worldwide has fallen by half. In 1990, 43% of the world's population lived in extreme poverty. In 2013, the United Nations estimates that only 22% of the world's population continue to live in extreme poverty. So Dave's going on. He owned his stepson. I hope you don't mind me giving this out, because you know whatever you say in chat, I do like to repeat. He owned his stepson on this one, and he was bagging on capitalism while playing his Xbox in front of the big screen TV and texting on his cell phone and bashing capitalism. And it happened so much, there was some Greenpeace hippie broad that was on the news several years ago when New York had that big global warming parade that dumped trash all over the place. And you've seen all these millennials screaming about global warming and how capitalism is destroying the world and texting on their iPhone and having iPads and all that. Without capitalism, you don't have any of that. Why is it that countries like China, countries like India, that were in poverty, that weren't doing good, saw capitalism as the way out? They're now doing a capitalist system, and they're bringing their people out of poverty. Socialism does not keep people out of poverty. It keeps people right where they're at while making politicians richer. When are people going to wake up to that? When are these idiotic millennials? Unfortunately, they have been indoctrinated through a neglect of us because we have allowed those hippies of the 60s to get in those positions and indoctrinate our kids with this bullcrap. Never in history have the living conditions and prospect of so many people changed so dramatically and so fast. That is from the UN Human Development. Even if millennials aren't swayed by the dramatic improvement in worldwide living standards, one would hope they would see the benefits of capitalism in products and services that inhabit the world. They live and thrive in a consumer-driven, on-demand society. They have immediate access at their fingertips to more knowledge, art, and music and communication than the wealthiest people just a few decades ago. Each and every one of the products and service they use every day was developed by someone chasing profit and market shares. It is a cliche to say that capitalism has powered the technology and scientific innovations that have improved all of our lives. Apparently, however, it is a cliche that bears repeating. On a positive note, every other demographic bloc in America still prefers capitalism over socialism. Well, Democrats perhaps naturally are evenly split between the two economical systems. At least Democrats, though, have slightly higher unfavorable ratings of socialism than capitalism's. Yeah, the 2030s are going to suck because these millennials are the ones that are going to be running the place in 2030. And it's going to be bad. What are they going to do when they get out here in the real world? Yeah, Google was the public library, and Wikipedia was encyclopedias. I was showing my daughter, and she knows about Wikipedia. So I showed her what our Wikipedia was in our day. And I showed her encyclopedias. She's like, what are those? I was like, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have computers when I was a child. The danger, of course, is that the demographics in America that does prefer socialism is also the future of the country. Of course, they have the luxury of looking positively on socialism since any impact on their lives is restricted to dusty history books. The finding also presents something of an existential dilemma for the conservatives and libertarian movement. Since the 1980s, the institutional infrastructure of the conservative and liberal movement has grown exponentially. Aside from dozens of national think tanks and advocacy organizations devoted to propagating conservative and free market views, there are more than 100 free market think tanks in states across the country. It is safe to say that billions of dollars have been spent over the past 2 decades promoting and educating the public on the benefits of capitalism and free market. There are publishing in print, media companies, and new conservative news sites everywhere. Yet something has gone horribly wrong. Many in the commentary have watched the rise of Bernie Sanders with a certain touch of condescending nostalgia. Oh, look, a socialist is running for president. Isn't that cute? You can almost hear them type. What happens when these kids go out in the real world and a real job and get slammed down? What happens when they go out into the real world and they fail? What happens when socialism fails them? Who are they going to blame? Hey, Kel. For many, Bernie's label as socialist was something he would have to overcome to make a serious run for the White House. It may now be, however, something he needs to more warmly embrace. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to be right back, right after these commercial break. And you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on HPPundit.com, RebootingLiberty.com, and SHRmedia.com.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Kafka is stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show, just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Click on the chat room. Join the conversation. So, Dave the Blind Guy asked the question of what happens when their free loaves of bread turn into free slices, and then that turns into free crumbs. And you can't say it won't happen because it's already happening in Europe. It is happening in Europe. And they always like to point to Europe, but they don't point out the bad part that's happening, that the collapse of socialism is happening in Europe because, number one, the rich are running out of money, and number two, they got to build a military. To be a socialist country, you can't have a military because the military does take up a large part of a budget. So, we're talking about just the state of how socialism, and it's not a good thing. And remember, do not fall for the political welfare and that it is the job of your congressman and your house and all the other politicians. It is not their responsibility. Just because you elect somebody does not mean you have given up your right or your ability, your duty to continue. It is your job to stay upon those politicians. It is your job to keep a watchful eye over them. Just electing them does not. Then that's not just the end of your part. And we have allowed this political welfare to go on too long. Fox bears on the GOP debate. Brett Baer had said that the crowd clearly was anti-Trump. Brett Baer of Fox News observed after the GOP debate in South Carolina on Saturday night that it was clearly an anti-Trump crowd. Republican frontrunner had plenty of cheers, but many more boos over the course of the event. As he did in New Hampshire, Trump blamed the response on Jeb Bush supporters, special interests, and lobbyists in the audience. Party insiders and donors usually do have the inside track to debate tickets. Breitbart News' Alex reported on Friday that the audience was heavily stacked toward the party establishment. Breitbart News learned from RNC Chief Strategist and Communication Director Sean Spicer that the Peace Center in Gainesville holds roughly 1,600 seats. Out of those 1,600 seats, candidates receive 600 tickets to invite their guests. The state party and local elected officials receive 550, while the RNC, including national elected officials, receive 367. The debate partner, CBS News, the Peace Center, and Google, receives 100 tickets. Analysts differed on whether the Hertz booed or helped Trump, but jeers in previous debates did not seem to damage him much. It is not just Trump, I will point out. It was also anti-Cruz. Now, as those listening to my show knows, I am not a Cruz supporter, but I will call a spade, and the RNC stacked that event with anti-Cruz and anti-Trump people. It's... And actually, on the conversation that's going in the chat room, I talked recently with somebody, and they were telling me how they're on disability, and that the Canadian government pays basically their rent, their electric, all that. Plus, then they get their disability check. I was like, holy shit. Yeah, exactly, Dave. The Muslims will continue to get everything, and everybody else will get less and less. Marco Rubio repeats his definition of amnesty on debate stage. Marco Rubio was asked to define the term amnesty on stage during the CBS debate, causing him to resort to his old talking points on the Gang of 8 bill. I think amnesty is the forgiveness of wrongdoing without consequences, and that I have never supported that. I do not support that. Bold-faced lie right there. Bold-faced lie if there ever was one. That Rubio's long-standing position on the definition of amnesty that angers critics for pretending that he wouldn't offer a path to legalization for illegal immigrants. But Rubio insists that if he is elected president, he will do nothing regarding legalizing illegal immigrants until the border is secure. A lesson he says he learned from his efforts to pass the Gang of 8. Let me tell you something. Even if you get the border secure, they do not want legalization. These people broke the law. They do not deserve any prize, any approval for breaking the law. Damn it, if I go out there as an American citizen and I break the law, I have to pay the consequences. I have to suffer the consequences. I don't get amnesty. They shouldn't either. Plain and simple. There is nothing special about the illegal immigrants, and there's no reason why they should get amnesty over hard-working Americans. And if it's in Canada, no one should get anything above and beyond what Canadian citizens get. Canadians are the ones that are paying it. They are the ones that should be receiving the benefits, not foreigners. And Europe, the exact same way. No matter what European country, the citizens of that country are the ones that should be reaping the rewards of their hard work. No one else should be reaping the rewards of citizens' hard work and then it going to foreigners. Oh. It doesn't matter where you're from. Those citizens that worked are the ones that should be receiving the hard-earned prize. And if anybody is to get amnesty, it should be the countrymen and women. And when I say countrymen, I go to the old term of it covers everybody. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of illegals getting held up like there's something special. No free hockey pucks. I'm tired of this amnesty crap. I don't care if we secure the border. We secure the border. Good. We secure the border. No way it should be. But then we don't give free shit out to the people who came here illegally. Giving them amnesty for them breaking the law. So Rubio is criticizing Ronald Reagan, pointing out that after he gave amnesty, the government failed to secure the border. And if you really want to get down to it, it wasn't Ronald Reagan. Just as it's been time and time again, Congress has failed to secure the money. The law is already there. The laws are already there to cover building the wall. Congress just has to approve the money. Congress, whether it's Republican or Democrat, do not want to fix the issue. They want to keep using it as a election ploy so that they could talk about it during elections so they don't have to talk about the real issues. Why do you think that Obama and the Democrats did not pass immigration reform when he first got in office, when the Democrats controlled everything? Why do you think they didn't push any gun control at that time? And don't tell me, well, there wasn't that issue until after Sandy Hook. Bullshit. They've been talking about this for years. They don't want it solved exactly. Either an outright ban or nothing. That's the way they can keep using it as a political ploy to go on people, talk about this is what they're going to do, this is what they're not going to do, and this is what must be done. And they use it every friggin' 4 years, every 2 years. And the people keep falling for it time and time and time. And exactly as they put, Reagan was guilty of one thing, believing the Democrats when they said that they would build or secure the border. But they never upheld their end of the bargain. It wasn't Reagan. Reagan did his part of the agreement. The Democrats and Congress did not do their part. And that's happened so many times. Yeah, it's fake issues. It's issue. I mean, there is no... Immigration laws are not broken. They're not broken. They're not being enforced. Plain and simple. They're not being enforced. Our immigration laws work if they're enforced. And that's what's going on. They're not enforced. Well, it's that time of the show, everybody. Don't forget, I'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., just like I am every Monday through Friday. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on hppundit.com, rebootingliberty.com, and shrmedia.com. See you tomorrow.
All shall fade to black again and again. This storm that's broken me, my only friend, yeah. In this river all shall fade to black. In this river ain't no